being 98 years old, you have experienced a lot in life, and you have experiences that not many people have been through. Like, I know you grew up through the Great Depression, and so I'd like to start with your childhood, what that was like growing up in the Great Depression, and then move into World War II, Iwo Jima, and then we'll move into what it was like coming home after war at that time period. And we'll get into what you were doing afterwards when you became a minister, and then maybe we'll talk a little where the country's headed, and then we'll end it.
All right.
Sound good?
Very good.
All right, so where did you grow up?
Well, I was born in Detroit, Michigan, 1925. I came up through the end of the big crash and went into the Great Depression. And President Roosevelt was our president, and thank the Lord he got in when we had that, because he settled, he got us out of it. Nobody had anything. Gas was 10 cents a gallon for your car. My mother used to put 50 cents in, and we'd ride around a little bit. When us kids, we'd chip in some money. We'd have an old car, and we'd chip in dimes, nickels, whatever we had. We'd pull up in front of a pump, and they pumped your gas for you, and they wiped your windshield and everything. You got everything for that dime.
Oh, wow.
And we'd pull up and say, he said, "How much gas do you need there, young fellas?" I said, "Put 50 cents in." He'd look at us. "No, that's 50 cents. That's 5 gallons. 5 gallons of gas. We could last all day on that." So, it was hard, but things were cheap.
How old were you when the Great Depression hit?
The Great Depression? Well, I think it ended in 31.
So you would have been...
I think it ended around 1931.
6 years old?
So I was born in 25, so I was just a little tot going through that, I can remember a Christmas. I wanted a trike. There were 2 boys and 2 girls. Not that early, but we told her with 2 boys and 2 girls. I had a brother that was 18 months younger than me. And we had to share an old used trike that my mother got out of a trade shop.
Really?
She brought it home to us, yeah. And we would fight over that bike every time. My mother took it away and hit it on us, and that stopped the fighting. But we lived in a cottage. My grandma and grandpa lived on a farm, and they were on commodities. We were all on commodities, welfare, or whatever you want to call it. And that kept them going on the farm. And, it was hard to sell because nobody had any money. The money just wasn't there. And so we lived in the cottage all year round. And, cottages back then on a lake were made of panel, wallpaper, no insulation. And in the wintertime, and, you used to get down in the zeros, And we had a pot-belly stove, a big one. And we would get that going with wood. We went out and got wood. And we put that going with wood. When it got hot enough, we'd put the coal in there. We got coal in there. And then that would burn all day. And my job was to make sure that fire didn't go out all night. If it went out, I had a price to pay from my dad.
What was that?
He'd give us a good beating.
Yeah?
Yeah. He didn't mix words with it. He was a mean father.
He was.
I never had a good father, a wonderful mother. My father was a heavy drinker. I don't know. He never had a trade, but he did have a trade. He was a roofer, and roofers drank. Masons and carpet, they all drank, and I don't know why. Whether it was the material they were using, the nails, or whatever it was. But they'd always leave the job and go into a bar and drink and then not finish the day. When I was a little boy, I went with my dad, carried shingles up a ladder. Can you imagine? The cedars, they'd drop over your shoulder. I'd carry about 2 or 3 of them. And he would take practically a bundle up there. Well, so we all had to pitch in and work. And we lived on fish. We lived on wild game, rabbits, pheasant, quail, We hunted all the time, all year round. And the game warden never said a thing because he knew we were on, the Depression was on. Nobody had any money. They wouldn't be able to pay a fine if they were fined. So, I mean, but those were good years because we stood together, we loved one another, and we fought together. We just kept things going. Well, the Depression lifted. And we moved in Detroit. My dad started getting some roofing contracts. The sad problem is that he just spent money, and it didn't come to the family. So we still struggled quite a bit.